Hey Rovers, we're just starting day 3. So, what happened? Well, last night we lost our wind. We currently have about 4 knots, and that's what it's been for the last little while. But we're still making about 2 knots, 2.5 knots to our next waypoint. We'll go up and deck in a second and take a look at that. Last night I also went through, I think, the favorite fishing ground of Fishing Fleet, because I had about 6 fishing vessels come within about less than a mile of Wave Rover. But we had a full moon, and it seemed that everybody knew where everybody was. I was vigilant, but there was no need to hail anybody because they were altering course before they really became a danger. Now, another interesting thing is that we've had these cool temperatures. Of course, you know, it's the end of September, we're in the North Atlantic, but so far no condensation has happened inside Wave Rover. And the only tiny bit of condensation I've had has been just on the port lights, and that's really easy to wipe down. But on the plywood itself, it has enough insulation at these temperatures to prevent the condensation. Now, it could also be that we've got a fair volume of space in here, and that could be another reason we're not getting condensation. And a third reason is the vents, the air-only vents that I installed in Wave Rover, they're all open, and we've got a constant bit of air movement. So all those factors together, I think, have led to a really pleasant environment below deck. But now, let's head up on deck and see what the situation looks like.
The Wave Rover 650. A design based on my solo ocean crossings. She's small, light, and yet easy to build, but strong enough to cross any ocean.
My name's Alan Mulholland, and this is the Wave Rover story. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but right out there we have a looks like a cargo ship, and just over here, just below the sail, I've got a big container ship, and both of those came within probably 3 miles of me. And now they've got well, yeah, they're clear. They're both going to the US by the looks of it. It's a pretty busy area all in all. Well, as you can see, I've only got about 2/3 or 3/4 of the sail up, and that's on account of the Mark III. The Mark III is just in these really light winds, and we're heading downwind. It really needs to be balanced, so that's what we're doing. We're keeping fairly balanced. We only have about 4 knots of wind when I checked, and we're making about 2.5 knots. So I'm pretty happy with being able to do that. We do expect the wind to fill in around noon and hold until about 9 o'clock tonight. You know, these are forecasts, they're subject to change. We'll see how that goes. But as it stands right now, what a lovely day. We've got fairly flat conditions. It's a day where I can probably do a little bit of video editing, make a nice meal, clean the boat a bit, because we're not going to get a lot of miles in. We'll be lucky to get about 50 to 75 miles in today. But another great day on the water. So off camera, I rigged a little preventer on the sail because the conditions are that light. But the amazing thing is we are making about 2.5 knots in the right direction. So as loosey-goosey as it looks, it's working. It's working as best it can. And when you have conditions like this, the best thing is just don't get anxious. Just enjoy it, you know, like it's relatively calm. It's lovely. It's, you know, compare this to an office job perhaps, or some other thing. This is lovely. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful day. Can't help but smile. Just no wind whatsoever. But we're still drifting in the right direction at about 2 knots. Well, as you can see, it is so calm, and the sail was just slapping itself to death. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but I've decided to motor, something I hardly ever do. I've got it idling here. I've got everything tied down. We're just going to motor for, I don't know, until we can see the wind. The reason is there's a low pressure system building that'll fill in about 4 or 5 days, bringing 25 to 30 knots right around the time we're making landfall. So if we can get ahead of that, that would be a good thing. Also, if we can pick up some wind, we can sail again. So that's the reasoning behind this. Later, and it's still really calm. Confused me for a fishing boat. Sorry, fellas, got nothing. Well, Rovers, that was a big day. We did 6 hours of motoring just to get ourselves into a position where we can get some reliable wind, but look at this. Yes, that's the full sail up. We're literally sailing into the sunset. You can just barely see it there, just forward of the sail. We just heard from Seahawk via the inReach communicator that, now who's Seahawk? Right. Seahawk is my reliable meteorologist, and he told me that on the approaches to Stonington, which is a complicated harbor to get into, never been there before, but just looking on the charts, there's plenty of things that can go wrong. But he tells me that we're in possibly for 25 knot winds, which is not really good. So even with the motoring, it's been a great day, but nothing feels so good as to shut that motor off and get the sail up and get under sail again. So Rovers, thanks for watching, and forge your own adventure.